Hello gamers and gameouts, what is going on? My name is Tanek127 and welcome back to another video. And guys, in today's video I want to talk to you all about Tiny Tina's Wonderlands and just, speculate a bit about the future of the franchise, as in Wonderlands, Borderlands, and anything that 2K and Gearbox plan on doing, with this sub-series and the main series of Borderlands. Because after playing this game and spending some time with it over the past few months, I do have some theories that may, counter a lot of the popular belief out there about this game. But before we get into today's video, I do want to give a word from today's sponsor. Today's video is brought to you by Hex Gaming. Let me ask you a question. Do you need that competitive edge in that first-person shooter, third-person shooter? Are you just getting straight clapped by the competition? Or how about that raid in that console MMO? Do you need something to give you some ease for your next cooldown, make your rotation a little bit simpler? You need some customizable buttons, or do you just want a flashy controller? Visit Hex Gaming today and use promo code TANEK127 to get 5% off anything you order in the Hex Gaming store. That's hexgaming.com. Use promo code TANEK127 at checkout to get yourself a discount. Enjoy the video, guys. And thank you so much, Hex Gaming, for sponsoring today's video. And guys, remember, modded controllers aren't just good for first-person shooters. They can also help tune your game in console MMORPGs, too. They do have additional buttons and back paddles on the back that could make, your rotation and things more comfortable and stuff like that. So if you guys want to check out the Hex Gaming store, be sure to go to hexgaming.com. And if you do decide to buy something, use promo code TANEK127, where it'll get you a discount on anything you buy there. So, check it out, guys. Thank you so much for Hex Gaming for sponsoring today's video. But anyway, like I was saying before, I want to talk to you guys about Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, the future of the Borderlands franchise and stuff like that. This is more so just a speculation video, alright? Nothing here in this video I can really prove and say that's fact, besides the fact that Randy Pitchford has officially announced that Wonderlands is going to be its own series in the future. So, I would expect a Wonderlands 2 or a sequel to Tiny Tina's Wonderlands to happen sometime in the future. And who knows, maybe they'll do a second season pass for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands to make up for some of the pretty crappy DLC that we got the first time around. And even though I'm playing a DLC here in this video, I do have something to explain to you guys. I only bought one of Wonderlands' DLC, and that was the fourth one. Two big reasons is because, number one, this DLC supposedly holds one of the toughest raid bosses in the game, which is like some 3 or 4 headed dragon that fights with multiple elements, which I cannot wait to take on. And secondly, I really wanted to play the Blightcaller class, and I have an awesome idea for a Blightcaller spell shot build. So if you guys do want to see a video on that in the future, do let me know. And also, I plan to take this this raid boss on as well. So if you want to see my build go against that boss, whether you watch me get my ass whooped or tear him a whole new one, let me know. If that's something y'all want to see as a video, let me know down in the comments below. But anyway, I want to talk to you guys, about Wonderlands and stuff like that and how I'm feeling about this game. So one thing people commonly forget about Wonderlands is, despite it being a Borderlands spinoff and a Borderlands game, is Wonderlands is technically the first of its kind. This is a sequel to a DLC, a small experiment that they did in Borderlands 2. And clearly it was so loved by not only the developers but the community as well, they got inspired enough to make a whole game based on it, which I have no problem with. I feel like Wonderlands has brought some of the coolest features I've ever seen in Borderlands to the game. We can finally use magic. We have different abilities that, that just aren't like, a simple ability tied to a specific character. We can cast spells. We can do all kinds of different summoning and stuff like that. It's kind of, in Wonderlands, it's kind of like, everyone plays a really beefed up siren. And I think that's kind of cool because the sirens actually become one of my favorite classes in the Borderlands series. I did enjoy playing it a lot in Borderlands 2. I didn't try the siren in number 1, and I actually haven't really messed with the siren in number 3 yet, but when I did play siren in Borderlands 2, that was some of the most fun I've had, especially endgame wise, in a long time in a Borderlands game. So I do like how Wonderlands went with that whole magic mystical era and stuff like that, but take Borderlands and just squeeze some D&D into it and give it more of that that RPG-ish fantasy feel, and boom, you got Wonderlands. For any type of RPG loving player, this is the Borderlands game that I would suggest you check out. Now, Wonderlands, it has had its fair share of problems. When it launched, it was a buggy mess with connection issues and all kinds of things. And me, especially being a guy who had people who wanted to play with me across all platforms, my group was multi-platform based. I was playing it with my cousin, my girl, and my girl's mother. And every single one of us had a different platform. Me and my girl were playing on PS5, my cousin was playing on Xbox One, and my girl's mother was playing on PlayStation 4. All of us connecting together in the same game, especially launch night. Oh my God. That was a headache. That was just, just one hell of a time, and it's a system that took, forever to get working. Don't get me wrong. I am glad and more than grateful that the Borderlands series has finally adapted things like crossplay. Another thing they need to learn to adapt to is free DLC, but we're going to talk about that later on. I know some people might not agree with that notion because there's a special term that comes with games that get free DLC that I'm trying to avoid saying in this video, but I'm going to probably have to say anyway. Live service games. But anyway. Yeah. So, but yeah, that was one of the things. I know people weren't too much of a fan of Wonderlands' DLC model. Me personally, I really wasn't either. Like I said, I only bought one of Wonderlands' DLCs for that specific reason. But at the end of the day, one thing people got to remember is Wonderlands was definitely a test to see what they could do with the game, and for them to, just like feel the foundation out of things they could do with the Borderlands franchise. Now, despite popular opinion, I actually love Wonderlands' endgame. Let me tell y'all something. Remember, I am an MMO RPG and a multiplayer action RPG loving guy. I love my end games nice and simple. I like to get through my story, do what I got to do, send me to the end game dungeons, whatever, raid or whatever, where I go and collect and farm my gear to get ready for future content. And that's exactly what Wonderlands does. You finish the campaign, you walk into the big ass castle, there is a big ass knight dude there, and he's like, yo, I'm the head of the end game dungeons, blah blah blah. This is how you farm them, chaos level this. You do that, and you get gear, and shut the hell up. I was happy when I saw that. And I know a lot of people, they want more, they want extras, and things like that. And don't get me wrong, the old mechanics are still there. You can go and repeatedly farm bosses to your heart's content to get the drops from them. Or, however you like to do your end game in a Borderlands type series. But me, having that option of just, like an endgame style dungeon being there that I can just farm back to back, or, preferably dungeons or raids and stuff like that. That's what makes me happy. And I know that might not be the style for everybody, but I personally, I really enjoyed seeing that. And I hope the next Borderlands game, the next main one, takes a similar style. I know that may not be the kind of thing that everyone wants, but I personally do. That's the way I kind of like things in my games. I appreciate the way things were done in Wonderlands. I don't know about the rest of the world. I can't speak for everybody, but I really enjoyed how they decide to do things. Me personally, my hopes for the next Borderlands game is I hope it's a really big game with a massive end game. I hope it's a live service style instead of trying to get you to buy 10,000 DLCs. But I just hope if they ever decide to do live service, which they've never brought up, so I don't want to bring any rumors up or anything. Gearbox has never said they're going to do a live service game, or at least I've heard. But I just I want to see it right. And I think the reason that the live service term gets downed and bashed by so many gamers is because there's so many people out here who try to make these quick early access cash grabs and don't do it right, and they taint the term live service so bad that people forget about the success stories out there. Games like No Man's Sky, games like Destiny. Look what Destiny has become. And the thing is, like, a lot of people need to remember this too, is people who go these live service routes to build these games are developers who have never done this before. This is a new kind of thing. But look at the kind of results that can flourish. Y'all got to look at games like Elder Scrolls Online, Final Fantasy XIV, the successful MMORPGs out there, games that you can play for years and years because the developers deliver the right kind of content, right? And that's the thing I think a lot of developers are missing when it comes to live service, is they just don't know how to deliver the content properly. And not to mention, the term live service has been tainted so bad now that when you say you're making a live service game, the community's already upset. You don't get much of a chance because people hate that term. Look at Babylon's Fall, for example. Babylon's Fall never even got a chance to fucking fail. It was doomed from the beginning just because, you know, people have one expectation from Platinum Games. Platinum said, hey, we want to try a live service. People were pissed about it. And everyone just hated it before it became something. I personally played the game, went through a lot of it, did a lot of the end game content and stuff like that. And I can tell you from personal experience, Babylon's Fall wasn't bad. It got prejudged more than it actually got judged for being an actual game. And anyone who's played Babylon's Fall thoroughly, they can vouch for that and tell you that. But, you know, I hope if other looter shooter games like Borderlands and stuff like that, if they ever decide to go this route, you know, you guys have made big chunky DLC games. You know the kind of content your players expect and stuff like that. Just because a live service game makes that content free doesn't mean you should drop the quality of it. And I think that's a problem that a lot of developers have today when it comes to making live service games. But anyway, I didn't want this to become, you know, a live service discussion or anything like that. The main point of this video is I just wanted to say, if the future of the Borderlands series looks something like how Wonderlands was structured, I'm okay with that. That's all I was trying to say in today's video. But anyway, guys, let me know how you're feeling about it down in the comments below. But anyway, you all enjoyed today's video, smash that like button. I will see you all in the next one. Peace out. Have a good one.